Let's bring in ABC News political analysts Kristen Soltis Anderson, joining us from Washington, and Matt Dowd, who's down in Austin, Texas. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
So, Kristen, let me start with you, and then we'll go to Matt on the same question. Do you think the president's decision on the Paris Climate Accord is smart politics, given the reaction we're seeing coming in?
Well, there are two pieces to the Paris deal's impact. First is practical. And really, despite a lot of the frustration that you're seeing from the president's opponents around this decision, the Paris Accords didn't have any real requirements in them that were legally enforceable. So in terms of actual changes that we're going to see to people's lives, things like people's power bills, this will be more felt in the other policies that the president puts into place further down the road, whether that's good or bad. I think what happens on people's power bills, whether their electricity is more expensive, will have a big political impact. But there's also the symbolic side, the idea that America's not taking a leadership role. And there are many, even in the Republican Party, that like the idea of America being a leader on the world stage. Taking a step back from that by walking away from the Paris Accords certainly does, I think, add more questions about whether, under a President Trump, America will be a leader in the global community.
Matt, do you think it hurts him or helps him politically, given, again, what the backlash we're seeing? Obviously, some support as well.
I think it hurts him for a number of reasons. First is 70% of the country is for staying in the Paris Climate Accord. That's one. And two is he is actually dissing an industry that is growing, which is the clean energy industry. Solar, wind is growing, and he's trying to prop up an industry that is diminishing. It's if a president in the early 20th century decided to prop up the horse and buggy industry and diss the automobile revolution in this. And so I think, one, his pulling out is going to have no effect on the economy, and probably it's going to have a negative effect on the economy. And two, from a political standpoint, it makes us retreat from the world stage, which most Americans want us to be on the world stage. And in terms of the country, where people feel about this issue, there's overwhelming support for this. So I think, all in all, it's a bad move. The other thing that I think is, Dan, that I think is important to point out is that Donald Trump's about to hold a rally at Lafayette Park to point out that people are for Pittsburgh over Paris. Funny thing is Lafayette was somebody that decided to support from France the Americans during the Revolution in disregard of the King of France. So I think find it quite ironic.
Okay, guys, I need a quick response from both of you on this. I want to talk about former FBI Director James Comey. He's set to testify on Thursday. The New York Times, as we mentioned, reporting the president's not expected to invoke executive privilege. What's the right choice here? Matt, let's begin with you.
Oh, I don't think the president politically or substantively should try to prevent Comey from testifying. I think Comey's a key part of this equation, and I think he's going to reveal a bigger part of the picture so we can see it clearly.
Kristen?
I think Matt's right. I think that in many cases there has been more smoke created. Folks say when there's smoke, there's fire. Well, even if there's no fire in this case, the White House's handling of this has consistently made people think that there is some smoke, there is some kind of a problem. It may be a cover-up without a crime, but I think by silencing any voices, you further add to that impression that you've got something to hide.
Huge week to come. Matt Dowd and Kristen Soltis Anderson, thank you both.